Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is Wednesday, June 24th. Some people like to call it something special this Wednesday, don't they?
It's hump day.
There we are. I'll never get tired of hearing that or seeing that, which you can do first thing in the morning. You can see us and hear us on all the various social media platforms and, of course, right here on 760 WJR. I'm told some people do both because you can't hear everything all the time. You can hear us in the background if you leave us up on social media, and you'll want to hear the news and weather and sports and everything else that happens on this June 24th, the 176th day of 2020. There are 190 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And we've got the team, including our listeners and viewers. Patrick Mendez says, hump day. Also, we got the whole team is pretty big now. Yeah. And it includes Dick Hafner, who has just concluded the news the way it was meant to be reported. We have, as you know, Dana Clark. I can't see what's on the hat. There might not be anything on the hat.
Today,
sometimes a hat is just a hat.
Not mine. This hat says New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay. I cannot see it, but
it's pretty faint, but it's pink.
Danielle Mason in the control room, pressing all the right buttons. Who is it? Jonah today? I'm not sure.
It's Sean.
Sean is here with us. All right. Let's see if I have that. I got a note from Jonah telling me what to sign on to. So Sean is here with us. All right, Sean, thank you for your help behind the scenes on social media. Kim is still sleeping. And, of course, our executive producer with a round light, she showed us a moment ago, Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Deb. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. This is one of those things where you're just thrilled that the news was wrong. And that is nobody snuck in to this guy's paddock, Bubba, and put in a noose. It was a case of mistaken identity. And I couldn't be happier.
Yes, me
Anybody?
too.
Yeah, everybody?
Thrilled. My question is, though, why didn't somebody take it down? If it was 2019...
It wasn't because it was, no one saw it as a noose. They saw it as a thing to pull the garage door down with.
So that's in every stall then. That's in every.
I don't know if it is or isn't, but after they investigated, they realized that, first of all, no one knew that an African American would be in that stall.
Of course, yeah.
When it was put in, because they're apparently assigned those stalls at the, I don't know, whenever, but nobody knew who was going to be in there. And they kind of figured out that it was to pull the door down. It was easier to pull the door down with a rope hanging there and a little loop and a noose. No one thought of it as a noose.
Right. Okay.
But here's the little bit of and this just came to me. It really just indicates how maybe overly sensitive we are about a lot of things. Maybe.
It's that time. Well,
5 years ago, I'm not sure anyone would have jumped to the conclusion that it was a hangman's noose. They would have pulled down the garage door with that rope and never given it a second thought, as apparently people had in the past, because it wasn't just put in there. That's been there for a while. They checked all the cameras. They checked everything that we all said was going to catch the person who did this. And there was no person who did this, and that makes me feel pretty good. Frankly, it is 5:43 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are becoming desperate. Join Compassion International and provide for a family in poverty. Make your one-time $40 gift. Text HOPE to 83393.
I by no means am suggesting that if anyone did this in any other circumstance, we shouldn't react with tremendous anger and there should be justice. But I'm just saying nobody did this, but we all were sure someone did, and they should be out of NASCAR for life, and worse. And it was thankfully much ado about nothing at this point. Our WJR traffic and weather first is something that's got Dana Clark all set to go.
Yes, sir. We have an accident along 696. Traffic First, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan for over 32 years. The Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. An accident in Farmington Hills, 696 eastbound before Farmington Road. The right lane is blocked. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Restore Wellness Center. Tired of dealing with nagging body pain? The Restore Wellness Center will reduce the pain and scar tissue, improve blood flow, nerve function, and muscle stimulation. The state's best non-invasive laser therapy treatments will reduce your pain. Call 800-935-5959 in Brighton, Shelby, and Bloomfield, or restorewellnesscenter.com.
Not much to worry about in terms of wet weather. A few clouds around with clear sky this morning, a mix of clouds and sun this afternoon, 76. And I'm just going to mention an isolated shower. Some clouds tonight, otherwise clear, 58 for an overnight low. Suburbs even chillier. Clouds and sun tomorrow, 81. Friday, mix of clouds and sunshine, a little warmer, upper 80s, close to 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, Ray, thanks much. 5:45. We enjoy Rush Limbaugh from noon to 3, Monday through Friday, and he stops by here first thing in the morning. Rush?
The New York City Board of Education has an announcement. They are launching an investigation into an assistant principal at New Dorp High School in Staten Island. The suspect is Deborah Morse Cunningham. Her alleged crime is that she posted an opinion piece on social media. Her post began, "What is privilege?" Ms. Cunningham says she defines privilege as wearing a pair of $200 sneakers when you've never had a job, or wearing a pair of $300 headphones while you live on public assistance. She also classified privilege as living in publicly subsidized housing where there are no utility bills or property taxes to worry about. Well, a so-called concerned parent saw the post and was triggered. She reported it to the Board of Education, claiming the post was racist, even though not one word in it mentioned race. A spokeswoman for the New York City Department of Education defended the investigation of the post. She said the DOE stands against racism and schools must be safe and inclusive learning environments. Maybe one day New York's Education Department will investigate the Constitution, specifically the portion concerning free speech, which happens to be the First Amendment to the Bill of Rights. And they might one day investigate why so many children who attend their public schools come out completely uneducated. It was actually a brilliant, brilliant post, folks.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on W.
You know, there's kind of an interesting extra part of the Bubba Wallace story, too. He was on CNN last night, and he insists that he knows it was a noose. So
What?
he
I didn't see that.
He was on CNN late, and he was, pretty firm about it. So it'd be interesting to see what else he's saying about that, because would he have seen garage pulls versus nooses? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he should have seen garage pulls
A lot, right?
a number of times. Did somebody think? I would hate to think somebody thought it was clever to use a noose. Knots have always fascinated me.
Mm-hmm.
People can bedazzle me with knots, especially boaters.
Amazing.
They put these ropes this way. They go, see how that is? And then they go, just pull this and boom, it all comes apart. And I go, wow. And I don't take a minute to learn how to do that knot. I
Right.
figure they know how. So
So we're
I'll
good.
call them if I need that knot.
Yeah.
But unless someone thought they were being creative or clever well, look, it's a little noose. Well, I don't know how many years it's been there, and how many people saw it and never even thought of it as a noose. That's unfortunate. Certainly, in Bubba's situation, And under the circumstances we're living in right now with these various protests, and in NASCAR, with the Confederate flag freshly pulled, if you will, you could think that in a minute. I hope that that's not the intent at all. I thought the FBI had made it very clear that it was not any kind of a noose or threat to anybody. I mean, that's the impression I got. After I heard that, I was just happy. I didn't. I watch a lot of late night television, as you know, and a lot of it isn't CNN because it's too hard to watch for me. Anyway, I mean, it's like the New York Times. It's their mission to throw this president out. They cause me to defend him sometimes when he's indefensible. But because of the coverage and the way they present stuff so one-sidedly, that you end up standing up for him. I always will defend the office of the President of the United States. And when I think of what the institutional media has done to diminish that office, and I know the people who hate Trump argue and say, no, it's Trump who's diminished that office. That's not the point at this time. It's the freedom of the press to annihilate the United States of America in an effort to get rid of a guy they can't stand, who, by the way, they created. As I spoke with Newt Gingrich yesterday, I said, this is a guy that was created by the very people who are trying to destroy him now. I'm not kidding. When I worked in New York, if Donald Trump hiccuped, they had a press conference, and he got every news media person that could be found in the city of New York, and there are a lot of them, and he'd have a press conference. And I go, who is this guy? Why are they listening to him right now? He's a big developer. Okay. In New York, guess what? There are a lot of big developers. So they created him, and now they want to destroy him, and that bothers me. I've said it in the past that in America, we put people up on a pedestal. We put them there so that we can knock them down. I don't know. Anyway, you know what I missed? And I can't miss this. Yesterday was National Hydration Day. How could the spokesperson for Apple for a quarter of a century and customer miss that? So I'm sorry I missed that. We were busy with stuff.
We could celebrate it today.
Well, we should celebrate International Dark and Stormy Day. We missed that yesterday, too. That's a good drink.
And necessary screenings and procedures. Our expert Beaumont doctors and caregivers are here to help you. See how we're keeping you safe at beaumont.org/safe.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
So we can celebrate National Hydration Day today?
Sure, absolutely.
Why not? We can do what we want.
It was yesterday, and I as the spokesperson and customer for 25 years of Absolpure, I can't let National Hydration Day go by without saying something about it. And frankly, it's just the right thing to do. You have to stay hydrated. That's one of those simple things. We've always talked about washing hands long before COVID-19, as the team knows, until I'm blue in the face. Wash your hands, drink plenty of clean water, get enough sleep, whatever's enough for you, eat everything in moderation, and do a little exercise. I do many of those things, not all of them. But I do as I say, not as I do. What else is going on? I know Annie got all excited. Well, Annie's excited about baseball coming back.
Yes.
But I'm fascinated with a couple of stories I don't want us to miss as well. But talk to me about baseball, and you're being very excited about them coming back for a limited season.
So it looks like they're coming back toward the end of July. Is that correct, team?
July 23rd or 24th, yes.
Right.
And they couldn't agree. So how did they finally end up coming back?
What?
Because they agreed.
Breaking news. They couldn't agree? Wait a minute.
Nobody agrees.
Was there money involved, possibly? Did anyone admit it was the money, or did they have some other higher level or standard?
COVID is an issue.
COVID, that they were concerned about, being safe and what the safety protocols and procedures would be. So that's
no more adjusting on the field and
and spitting. No more spitting.
No more spitting for sure. But that should be a normal rule.
I know. So gross.
It's like when I was in China many years ago in the beginning, you'd actually be in what would be considered a very fine restaurant. And there were signs that said, no spitting.
What?
I'm not kidding. Spitting is a cultural thing. That don't ever stand next to a bus that's by the corner of the road and it's sitting there.
Oh, really?
Don't stand there because the hawkers are flying out the window.
Oh,
dear me.
Now that was a few years ago, a number of years ago.
Yeah.
So just as we've cleaned up some of our bad habits in America, and we're trying to clean up some now. She's awake. The queen has arisen.
Good morning, Kimmy.
What a beautiful woman, even right out of bed. Oh, my goodness. So anyway, we've cleaned up some of our bad habits. I'm going to say that China has cleaned up some of their bad habits, but as I've talked about before, their idea of sanitation and our idea of sanitation are worlds apart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So anyway,
of course, it's the difference between the third world and this world.
There you are. An observation by WJR News Director Dick Hafer. He doesn't say much, but when he speaks up, he's spot on.
Like E.F. Hutton.
So there's an interesting conversation about baseball, about where they're going to get ready. Are they going to get ready in their own parks, or are they going to get ready at their spring training centers? And the question is, where's Detroit going to get ready?
What's that, Dick? What was that? You believe it's?
I believe it's our own parks.
Our own parks.
I'll go back and double check on that.
Okay. And then
there's a lot of loose ends still undetermined here.
And
For example, how do they enforce the no spitting?
Why don't they just get real and get a spittoon
It's a
kid?
bodily function of human beings. How do they stop a baseball player from spitting? And then, if the baseball player spits, what do they do with him? Throw him out of the game? Do they fine him?
Wait a second.
What?
Think about this for a second. Dick, I want you to think about this for a second. You just said it's what? It's a human bodily function. Is that what you said? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Yeah. Okay. How many people spit yesterday? How many people spit 2 days ago? I haven't spit. I don't remember the last time I spit.
Me too.
I appear to be a human, and
You're not a baseball player.
Parts of me are functioning like crazy. But spitting is not one of those things. You're right. I'm not a baseball player. I had trouble in T-ball. I'm not going to lie to you. When you have the ball on the stand and you still suck.
Yeah.
And
you knew then at an early age that baseball was not going to be your career.
How do you throw a spitball?
Well, now there's a problem. Now you're talking, Mr. Hafer. Now you're at the heart of it.
Yes.
How do you throw a spitball without getting thrown out? What about a spittoon kid? What about we got a ball boy? We got a bat boy?
Yeah. They got to take away that chewing. You can't chew. What is it that some chew? That's why they spit.
They shouldn't be chewing anyway.
But
it's not. I mean, it's like they'd be down there smoking cigarettes, for goodness sakes. Just as bad or worse. 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
We're all feeling the weight of COVID-19, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are becoming desperate. Join Compassion International and provide for a family in poverty. Make your one-time $40 gift. Text HOPE to 83393.
Well, Bill Cox says, forget about the chewing tobacco. Take away the sunflower seeds. Would be a good start. Yeah, those would become very big.
Bubble gum.
Yeah, they got to take it all out.
They got a lot of stuff going on there.
No snacks at work.
They got to have a lot of stuff in their mouth, apparently. At 5:57, our WJR traffic and weather first, Miss Dana Clark.
Sponsored by Starline Mackinac Island Ferry. Hightail it to Mackinac Island on a Starline hydrojet or catamaran ferry, and now a new pirate ship, the Good Fortune. Starline offers the largest open-air boats disinfected before every trip, with fares starting at $19. Get discount tickets and vacation packages at MackinacFerry.com. That's MackinacFerry.com. 696 eastbound before Farmington Road. Accident is blocking the right lane. 30-minute delay for trucks along the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by North Bloomfield Properties. If you're looking for a place to call home, let North Bloomfield Properties find the best place for you and your family. They also provide pre-screened quality tenants to their property owners. They love to match good people to good homes. Contact them today, northbloomfield.com. On this hump day, we are expecting some clouds, some sun, a little bit of a mixture, but it's going to feel much better outside. Lower humidity, a high of 76. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 59. For Thursday, some clouds, some sun, could see a stray shower, a thunderstorm, a high of 81. Cloudy skies, currently 61 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 1 minute.
You know, I think, CNN is saying that Major League Baseball put out a very short tweet last night. Quote, all remaining issues have been resolved and players are reporting to training camps. So, admittedly, I've not followed this very closely. But now
it changed every moment. So even if you did follow it, it went back and forth forever.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and there is a big controversy over where they're going to train because I guess
this is the story that's still true, though, that they are going to do something at Walt Disney World, or am I thinking, was that the NBA?
That's NBA.
Oh, okay.
They're still deciding on what they're going to do.
Okay.
And we can't watch them. We can't go to the parks and watch, right? We'll just be watching on TV.
That's out.
Okay.
That's out. No,
that's out.
So, and that's why, I mean, from my just listening on the sidelines, when the owners were saying they have to prorate the salaries of the players, they were adding into that the fact that they won't have people, concession sales, ticket sales.
When will Michigan fully reopen? Well, not for a while yet. The governor says
the question.
Michigan will not be moving to what she calls phase 5.
We're not talking over him, are we?
Reopening plan this week. It still could happen by July 4th.
Sean, can you
Whitmer's
take
reopening plan in phase 4 for most of the state, the Upper Peninsula, and the Grand.
I think that somewhere we decided people could be listening in on the radio.
Yes.
During these breaks.
During these breaks, yes.
The number of people who are following us on social media, like the behind the scenes. You are behind the scenes.
They're backstage.
This is not WJR radio behind the scenes because we're all in our homes. You might have heard. We're social distancing, physical distancing.
We all have our own stages.
For all I know, this will be on forever. Who knows?
It's hard to know, right?
Hard to know. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Being able to basically roll out of bed and be at work without the drive. I made that drive yesterday for the first time in I don't know how many months.
Yeah.
To get downtown to Henry Ford Health System. Where they maintain excellence and do a great job. And my connection still is strong with them with our Minds of Medicine program. And they're a partner here at the radio station, too. But anyway, I haven't made that drive in a long time. And I said to the family, I don't miss this drive.
Right. But it's nice. It's a good thing. Some people like working from home and some people don't. I love it.
Let's do unscientific poll with the people who are tuned in, if you will. Clay Jerky gets the award this morning for having more messages. I saw like 6 of them in a row from Clay. Ron Becker, Mike Zilkowski, Mike Richardson, Laura, Dave Hawes from Ann Arbor. Kathy McPherson, Maria Grantham, Patrick Mendez. Good morning from Columbus, Ohio. David Bader. Mike Zilkowski likes the hats.
I got you.
I would suggest you find a hat sponsor, for goodness sake.
You know what? I've offered myself for various things. Nobody wants to sponsor. I offered to be a ghost in the restaurant, to get under the ghost sheet and sit there and scare people. Oh, Annie, you were off. You know how they're doing.
And no one took you up on that?
Nobody took me up on that. That would be hilarious. We could do a program on that. That would be like Candid Camera. That would be funny. Then nobody wants to sponsor me for hats. I guess I'm just
cardiac arrest.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Not sure they want
But
to
anywho,
do that.
that's all right.
Oh, yep. See, some people are chiming in. They do like the working from home.
Yes.
Clay Jerky, we are oversensitive now. Would that be at the bottom?
That was a while ago.
Hello, Terry Radigan. Go Tigers.
Morning, T.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Yes, go Tigers is right. I just think it's a nice change of pace. Right.
No, we need
watch
something. We need collectively, we need to get up in the morning and say, how about them Tigers?
Yes.
Or how about them Lions?
Yes.
Or how about them Red Wings? How about them Stone Skippers up at Mackinac Island?
Stone Skippers, yeah.
On July 4th.
Yes.
Even if I have COVID-19, this is going to be bizarre. I don't know if I have time to explain it because it would take years to explain this.
It's really interesting.
As was explained to me, and Ann had heard this from her mother and thought, well,
Mom.
That's right, Mom. That's right. That's okay.
No, I told her she was dead wrong.
Well, I was trying to be nice. So, not that you weren't nice, but listen to this. If you test negative for COVID-19, but you feel you were around somebody with COVID-19, which is why you went to get tested, you must quarantine for 14 days. If you test positive for COVID-19, you must quarantine for 1 week.
What?
How does this make any sense at all? Now, I'm simplifying it. If you have a fever still, you're in trouble. But if you have no sign of any illness and no fever, you can go back to work in a week.
See, that's the problem.
But if
We're going to run into problems.
Right. If you're asymptomatic, I thought you could spread it.
You can.
Well, but you would get the test and it would show that you had it. So you weren't walking around blindly.
Right.
But if you tested and have it, I don't know if it's because they say, well, if you had it, by the time we test you, you've got 1 week to go. And if you have no illness and no fever and no other whatever signs, eyes popping out of your head, I don't know what else.
You added that. You added that one.
That's
that
called
would be a bad one.
diagnosis.
Honey, I think I have COVID. Put your eyes back in your head when you talk to me.
Goodness.
Anyway, so that was just, I thought that was bizarre.
It is bizarre. It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
COVID doesn't really make a lot of sense.
There you go.
COVID has made no sense.
Not to be understood.
Admit it that they were befuddled and confused from the beginning on this thing.
That's a dicey infection, that
The
one.
Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Good Wednesday morning to you. Some have a special name for Wednesdays.
It's Hump Day.
It is indeed. It is Hump Day, June 24th. The 176th day of 2020. There are 190 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. The team is here at 6:07. Dick Hafner, our WJR News Director, always working. I almost feel guilty that he's always working. I said almost. But he's, as soon as he finishes, it's like painting the Big Mac, the bridge. As soon as he's done at one end, he's got to start at the other end painting again. So he finishes his newscast, and he's pecking away at his keyboard, getting ready for the next newscast. Thank you, Dick. We appreciate that very much.
My life.
It is, and you do it well. Thank you for that. Dana Clark does her job well. Traffic, weather, social scene, movies, restaurants, whatever else is going on. Brian Morton is off. Danielle Mason is in the hot seat, running double the controls now with Sean for social media and everything else. Mike Kimmy is up, and Adam, and of course, always up, kind of like me, never sleeping, our executive producer, Ann Thomas.
Good morning, Deb. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you. All right, we talked about baseball and the Tigers and everybody coming back. We have to get to. I want to talk about people microwaving their library books.
Did you like that one?
Don't do it. Ann sent this to me and I went, what is going on here? Well, here's why you don't microwave a library book. They have a little metal sensor that they keep track of their books with inside the book. Boom, you put it in the microwave. There's a hole in your book. It burns a hole in your book. Here's my book. I'd like to return it on time. Get the heck out of Dodge.
I was wondering about that, though, because I wanted to read a book and I thought, how do they clean the books?
Yeah,
so I'll just order a new one.
What about them? Their germs on the book.
Yeah, how are they doing that?
Good for the book industry. You say, I'm not going to get it at the library. I'm just going to order a new one.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to make COVID last longer if we keep telling them that.
Dana does have a good question.
How do you clean it?
How are they cleaning those books?
Spray them down, like hold them up, Lysol spray.
I don't know.
You know who might know?
I used to spray my newspapers every morning, and now I don't do that. Why? I should, but I don't.
You did?
So we're falling off.
Yeah.
That's why COVID is going up. Because Mr. Mask, I wasn't wearing my mask around with Father's Day and letting family in and doing stuff that may have caused me to have COVID. So I guess there's only so much time, so much you can do until you start losing your mind and start trying to get back to some form of normalcy. And we're not ready for that yet.
No.
It's COVID. We have COVID fatigue. We're tired of doing all the things, so you get lax, as you said.
Way into COVID fatigue.
Use Kindle.
Kindle. Oh, you know.
See what I mean? He doesn't speak very often,
up.
but 2-3 words, and he sums it up, and
That says it all.
we can move on. Use Kindle.
Well, wait, can't we call your sister-in-law Bernie, Paul? Didn't Bernie used to work at the library in Monroe?
Yeah, she was very, very active at the library, board member, all those things.
She would know what they're doing, I bet.
She would, but
if
we called her at 6:10 in the morning, I'm not sure she'd be so happy.
Might not. Yeah, we won't.
I hope she's asleep. I called her early one morning from Philadelphia. She'd throw the book at us. There it is again, folks. Write them down.
Write them down.
He's on a roll.
I called her once from Philadelphia because a guy was talking to me on the air, and he says, "Well, we had this spaghetti, and we put the gravy on, and we did." And I said, "Wait a minute. You what? You put gravy on your spaghetti?" "Yeah, we put the gravy on, and we." So I called Bernie as the only fully Italian member of our family. We're all Lebanese, in the middle, like me, and then she's fully Italian. But anyway, I said, "Bernie," I got her on the air. I said, "You're Italian. Do you put gravy on your spaghetti?" She said, "No, we don't put gravy. We put tomato sauce." And I was then informed in Philadelphia, tomato sauce is called gravy.
Really?
That's the gravy, the tomato sauce they put on their spaghetti. I digress. We're never going to get to this. What's our out time here? 13. Okay, we got.
Imagine 13.
Was anyone else surprised when Martha Ford stepped down as principal owner of our Detroit Lions, turning it over to Sheila, her daughter?
Yes.
Anyone surprised? See, I don't know. I didn't know the behind the scenes rules and regulations. I thought, Martha Ford could turn over the daily operation to Sheila Ford, turn over the operations, have her run it. If Martha at 94, my mother, Sweet Marie's age at 94, says, "I don't want to run the Lions," because she's been running the Lions, Martha. Mm-hmm. And she's a good listener to our show. I don't know if this early in the morning, but last time I ran into her at some event, she listens, and I appreciate that. But my point is, apparently in the hierarchy, and Dick, you know these things, in the hierarchy of the NFL, you have to be the owner of record to have the power that Sheila needed to have to run the Lions. So it's not just saying, "I'm naming my daughter as the president of the Lions and she's going to run them." She actually apparently had to hand over ownership. I mean, I don't know if anyone sees the the distinction I'm trying to make here. But
Sure, absolutely.
I think this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's cool.
There is
That's
a
interesting.
distinction. Among other things, you have to have that distinction to be active in the high-level actions that the National Football League owners take.
It's a very exclusive club, and you have to be the owner to be in that club. Interesting.
And there's 6 women in that club, I believe. 6 female owners.
Great.
Wow.
Talk about women who lead.
Mrs. Ford,
Yeah.
continue those arm strengthening exercises for when you're going to hoist that trophy. Don't give that up.
Let's get ready for that. We are all anxious for that. 1957? 1957, right? Yeah. It is at 6:14 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We treat you like you'd treat you. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
We have a conversation with Detroit Police Chief and Deputy Mayor James Craig coming up in just a moment here on WJR. But at 6:14, we've got our WJR traffic and weather first, and Dana Clark.
Still watching that accident in Farmington Hills, blocks the right lane along 696 eastbound before Farmington Road. Looking at a 30-minute delay for trucks across the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Pretty pleasant run of weather continuing over the next few days. Few clouds around this morning, comfortable. Cloud, sun, and comfortable this afternoon on the west.